I hold live masterclasses where I answer questions from women on the motherhood journey and post clips on this YouTube channel. Click the link in the description below to join my email list to find out when they are. Today's question is, what is your opinion about all the genetic testing that is offered during the first trimester, especially because I had a miscarriage in December? The only testing that I think is necessary is your own blood work to make sure that you are healthy so that you have a better chance of carrying the pregnancy successfully. The prenatal genetic testing is optional. It's ultimately up to your comfort level. Unless it's information that you can take action on, in my opinion, there's no point to doing it. That's why I don't recommend ultrasounds before 8 weeks. Anything beforehand is inconclusive, and it only stresses the mother out, setting up an environment that's not conducive for healthy growth. There are screening tests and diagnostic tests. So the difference is that screening tests are those that indicate a possibility of a problem. The problem with those is that they have very high false positives, and they really can create a lot of stress for people when it comes back as a positive and then a few weeks later it turns out to be negative. And so it's just better, in my opinion, not to avoid that stress during this pretty delicate time during the first few weeks of the pregnancy within that first trimester. Other prenatal tests are diagnostic tests, and those usually come later in that first trimester, and diagnostic tests can accurately find whether a fetus has a specific problem. And if you have like a huge concern about any genetic issues, then the diagnostic tests would be the better way to go. However, the mindset of looking for a problem is completely counter to the work that I teach, which is to trust your body and the process, where you are guiding the entire journey by your light and not your fear. So we live in a culture where doctors have to worry about liability and malpractice. So understand that they're going to kind of go over the top with their recommendations and offer everything under the sun to you. Whatever's available to them, they're going to offer to you, and it's going to seem really overwhelming. So it's going to be up to you to do the research to really figure out what is necessary for you, what's going to create the most ease and peace of mind for you. Obstetricians have one of the most expensive malpractice insurances out of all the medical professions, and I'm sure you can understand why, because they're dealing with life and death, right, of your baby and of the mother. So they're going to do everything that they can to mitigate their exposure. And so that's also why there's so many tests that they offer. It's because of that. They can say that, well, we've offered these tests that are available based on the current technology. The patient declined. They have absolved themselves of responsibility. So just kind of take that into mind. The other thing is that doctors are also often fear mongers, especially when they're kind of out of their depth. Let me start that over. Doctors are also often fear mongers, especially when they're out of their depth. And that usually means treating women in their 40s. A lot of doctors don't have a lot of experience treating women in their 40s. They tend to refer them out to high risk, obstetricians that specialize in high risk pregnancies. Anyone who's in their 40s is automatically labeled as high risk. That's part of the system that we're working under. You're talking about people who medicalize a process that women have done since we first walked this earth. So they've made us distrust, shame, and bully our own bodies in the name of science, and completely disregarded our own body's natural wisdom. I think a much, much better and healthier, more efficient health system would be to have midwives as the primary healthcare provider for pregnant women, and doctors are only called in for emergencies. Women have healthy babies in their 40s all the time. Fortunately, none of my clients have had any issues, none, zero, knock on wood. So do I think the risk is overblown? Completely. And you want to kind of keep that in mind as you're moving forward in your pregnancy. There's going to be a lot of scary information that you're going to be exposed to. And this is where it's very, very critical that you stay centered in you having the best interest of yourself and your baby in mind. You have to be the light for your baby. If the information is going to cast a shadow on the process that requires their trust, I'm going to vote no. So just be very careful about the information that you come across. Trust your body. People who have been working with me have more experience than most people in terms of connecting with their intuition and with their higher self. Ask that question when you're in meditation. Do I need this? Do I feel that I need this? There's no right or wrong. There's no judgment about it. It's really up to you what your comfort level is. So that's why I can't say yes or no, or that's why I don't say yes or no as an absolute for any particular person. It's just you have to evaluate what's going to create the most ease for you. For me personally, I prefer less information and just trust. For other people, they may need a lot more. And that makes them feel more comfortable, and that's completely fine. But just make sure that you do the research, you look at the risks and the benefits, and make sure that the benefits far outweigh the risks. Because some of these procedures, especially the diagnostic procedures, the chorionic villus sampling and the amniocentesis, they can pose a risk to either the mother and or the baby. And you have to be comfortable with that. If you found this video helpful, like, subscribe, and share this video. I'm here to help women over 35 and into their 40s manifest the healthy baby they dream of. This is Julie Chang. Thanks for joining me.